Hello friends, this video on Wave Optics Part 7 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till Part 6 before going ahead with Part 7. So now that we are clear with the terminologies, we are clear with the basic terminologies which we had already studied earlier, and we are also clear with what is a wavefront. Now it is good time that we can start with Huygens principle. So what is Huygens principle? So what was Huygens principle? Huygens principle stated that each point of a wavefront is the source of secondary wavelets. Now whenever we use the term wavelet, what does it mean? Wavelet means small waves. Right? So it says that each point of a wavefront is the source of secondary wavelets which spread out in all directions with the speed of the wave. Right? Did you understand something? Read the statement again and try to see what do you understand from this before I start explaining. Okay, as I mentioned you before that Huygens told that when a small window is opened in a room and light enters through that window and spreads throughout the room, that means light has got some wave nature which spreads itself in all directions, right? So with that assumption, Huygens gave his principle. He told that every point on a wavefront gives rise to secondary wavelets. That means, let us look at this example. This would be the best example to understand Huygens principle. You take a stone, throw it in water. What will happen? You throw a stone in water, let us suppose here. What do you observe? If you observe it from the top, what will you observe? Let us suppose you are standing on a hill, and from that hill you can see a river below. You throw a stone from that hill into the river. What do you see? You see that the stone strikes the river at this point, and you can see waves surrounding that point in this way. Right? So that means you disturbed the water at this point, but this disturbance spread in all the directions. Right? So now if let us suppose if there was some object here, let us say there was some object lying here. So because of this disturbance, this object will also get disturbed. Earlier the water was at rest, so the object was also at rest. Now when you throw a stone here, the disturbance spreads in all direction, and as a result that object will also start moving in water. Correct? So now how this disturbance got transferred from this point to this point? How the disturbance was propagated? It was in the form of waves. That is also correct. But what from the top when we see these concentric circles. So what are these concentric circles? They are nothing but the wavefront. The wavefront is gradually spreading in all directions, right? Since it is a sphere, so when the sphere increases in size, it is basically increasing in all direction on both sides, on front as well as on back. So the disturbance is spreading all around, right? Correct? So now, how this wavefront is formed? What is happening when you disturb the water at this point? Waves will originate in this way, right? So when you join the when you find out the locus of all the points in same phase, you find a sphere. So this is my primary wavefront. Now Huygens says that each point of a wavefront is a source of secondary wavelets. That means according to Huygens, from each of these points on this sphere, we have secondary wavelets coming up again. That means from every point we again have waves coming out, right? So that means from every point in this again waves are coming out. So if you look at this figure, you can see that this is one wavefront. So we could have drawn it here also, because this is also a wavefront, and every point on this wavefront also gives rise to secondary waves. But since it is very small and we don't have space, so we have drawn it here. So each of these points again give rise to secondary waves. So secondary waves will originate like this. So again, the locus of those waves will give rise to secondary wavefronts, right? Now, the common tangential line which covers or which envelopes these wavefronts, that will form the secondary wavefront. That means this was my primary wavefront, this light. Right now we are considering this point. So this was my primary wavefront, and after time t, after a small amount of time t, the position of this wavefront will be this. How? Because every point on this wavefront gives rise to secondary wavelets. Now, because of these secondary, see, every point is giving rise to secondary wavelets, right? So the wavefronts covering these secondary wavelets, all those wavefronts are enveloped inside a wavefront. That is the secondary wavefront, or that is the position of the wavefront after some amount of time t, right? So this was Huygens principle. So Huygens told that every point on a wavefront gives rise to secondary wavelets which spread out in all directions with the speed of the wave, right? So I think Huygens principle can be best understood with the example of a stone being thrown into water. In that case, you can see that the primary wavefront is formed. Again, from primary wavefront, the secondary wavefronts form, and so on so forth. And gradually, if you see that it is not that if you throw a stone here that disturbance will last forever. For example, let us suppose, let us take a small example. Let us suppose that if you throw a small stone in a river, right? So if you throw that small stone in a river which is flowing in Delhi, near or in the surroundings of Delhi. Now, if that river flows from Delhi to Allahabad, will that stone also reach there? I mean, will that disturbance also reach there? It will not, because the disturbance will gradually fade. How will it fade? Because as I told, every point on the wavefront gives rise to wavelets, that is small waves. Now, from there, again the secondary wavefront will be formed. From there, again small wavelets will arise. So, gradually these wavelets will keep becoming smaller and smaller. So, and finally, the effect will become nil. Right? So, this is how, this is, again lastly, let us review Huygens principle. If this is the source, so the point where the stone is striking the river, we consider that as the source of light wave or source of any wave. So let us suppose if this is the source, it gives rise to wave like this. Right? So now by joining all the points which have same phase, we get the primary wavefront. Now every point on this wavefront again gives rise to waves, somewhat like this. So again from this you can draw its wavefront, right? Similarly, for every point you will have wavefronts like this. Now there will be another envelope which will cover all these wavefront. So this envelope is nothing but the second line. Similarly, every point on this wavefront will again give rise to waves in all directions, right? So from there you can again draw the wavefronts, and again the envelope which cover all those wavefronts together, that will be the position of your wavefront. So basically, what are these? These circles are wavefronts, and this is the primary wavefront. This is the position of the primary wavefront after time t. This is the position of the wavefront after time t dash. Again, this is the position of the wavefront after time t double dash, and so on and so forth. That means with passage of time, the wavefront keeps spreading. And why does the wavefront spread? Because the wave at every point on the wavefront gives rise to secondary wavelets, which spread out in all directions with the speed of the wave. Right? I hope it is clear to you now. So this is a very important phenomenon, because with the help of Huygens principle, we will study everything else. To understand Young's double slit experiment, to understand diffraction, interference, polarization, for everything you need Huygens principle. So it is absolutely necessary that you do not leave any doubts in your mind about Huygens principle. There are very few textbooks which has explained the Huygens principle in detail. Everywhere you can find out the statement, but the explanation is not very clear everywhere. right? So it is for your good that you should understand it very clearly, right? So did you understand the concept? Did you understand this, what the statement is telling? It says every point on a wavefront gives rise to secondary wavelets which will spread out in all directions with the speed of the wave, right? So using Huygens principle, we can determine the new position of the wavefront at a later time. That's what I told you, right? This is my position. I mean, when you throw the stone in water, immediately you do not see that the entire thing happened. I mean, you do not see the entire ripple happened at a time. It doesn't happen at a time. When you throw the stone, it gradually spreads. However, it happens within a fraction of a second because the time it takes to spread is very less. So it looks as if it happened instantly, but it doesn't actually happen instantly. When you throw the stone, initially, first this, then this, then this, then this, then this. This is how it will spread, right? So that means the initial position, after some time t, the new position of the wavefront, again after some time the next position. So gradually it keeps increasing. Gradually the diameter of the sphere keeps increasing. So using Huygens principle, we can also determine that what will be the new position of the wavefront after time t, right? So we will see that also, that how do we determine that new position of the wavefront. We will see that. So now we will focus on how do we determine the new position of the wavefront after some time t. So let us suppose that the initial time is, let the initial time t is equal to 0. So we start with time t is equal to 0. So what is our aim here? We want to see that after time t, after time t1, what would be the position of wavefront? That means after a specific instant of time, what would be the new position of the wavefront? Because Huygens principle talks about that. It tells that from every wavefront, every point on the wavefront will give rise to secondary wavelets, and those secondary wavelets will determine the new position of the wavefront. So let us see how does that happen. Let us suppose this is the source. So this is the source, and from here the waves originated, and this is my wavefront. Now we have to, this is the wavefront at time t is equal to 0, which is the initial time. Now I say that from after this, after time t1, what will be the new position of the wavefront? So every point on this wavefront will give rise to new wavelets like this in all directions. So again, the wavefront for that would be small spheres like this. Similarly, you will have it everywhere. For simplicity, I am drawing it like this, but actually all these wavefronts also overlap with each other, because right now I am considering this point and then this point, but in reality, each and every point of this wavefront gives rise to secondary waves. So in reality, it is a complete mess up inside. Like, I mean, you have waves all around coming out, you have secondary wavelets coming out from each and every point of this wavefront. So the diagram in reality is not that simple as I have drawn it here for simplicity. Right now I have drawn it this way so that you can understand the concept. So what happens now? So these are my secondary wavelets which came out from the wavefront. Now if you draw a common tangent to all these spheres, that tangent or that surface will envelop all these secondary wavelets which came out from the wavefront. So what would be that common tangent? That common tangent would be nothing but another sphere. I'm sorry, it should touch all this sphere, right? So this is my common tangent. So there are two possibilities again. One is this common tangent and the other one is this common tangent inside. So there are two possibilities now. So okay, now before that, let us see, as I told, that after time t1, what would be the position of wavefront? Now after in time t1, how much this wave will travel, which will originate from each and every point. Each wave will travel v into t1. This much distance it will cover. So that means this would be nothing but the radius of this wavefront, right? Because from this point, let me draw this point separately. From this point, the wave will travel a distance which is given by velocity, that is nothing but the speed of the wave into the time. Time is t1 because we are calculating it for time t1. That means whatever waves are originating from this point, they will all travel the same distance in time t1. Therefore, we can say that the radius of this sphere is nothing but vt1. Correct? So the radius of this sphere is vt1. So now the common tangent joining all these spheres will give the position of the new wavefront at time t is equal to t1. So this will give you the position of new t1. So that means if this is my primary, now that is one thing. So common tangent to all spheres tells you the new wavefront at time t is equal to t1, right? Again, we have two options. One is this was my source and this was my primary wavefront, right? So what are the two options that we have? One is this common tangent, right? And the other one is this common tangent. Just now I told you, right? There are two possibilities. The outer tangent will also envelop all the spheres. The inner tangent is also a tangent which is enveloping all the spheres. So now, which is the one that we should consider? I mean, when you look at the situation in reality, which is the one that takes place? It is the forward one, because have you ever seen that if you throw a stone in water, it gradually decreases? I mean, the disturbance gradually decreases. It doesn't happen like that. The disturbance gradually spreads, right? So that means the disturbance gradually moves forward. So what did Huygens told? Huygens told that this back wave, this is nothing but a back wave. The amplitude of the back wave is minimum. The amplitude of the back wave is 0, and therefore the back wave is neglected and the forward wave is considered. Okay, so that is why this forward wave was considered. So we say that this is the new wavefront at time t is equal to t1. Now again from this you will have secondary wavelets arising, right? So here again we will mention what is this. This was nothing but the back wave whose amplitude being minimum was ignored, right? So now again this is my new wavefront, and again every point on this wavefront will give rise to new waves. So again these waves will move. How much distance will it cover? Again they will cover a distance of v into the time. That means again after time, say t2, so this will cover v into t2. So again we have spheres like this. So again a common tangent joining these spheres will be the position of the new wavefront after time t2. So what will be that new wavefront? Again the forward wave, because we will ignore the backward wave as its amplitude is 0. So this will again be the position of the new wavefront after time t2. So that is how initially at t is equal to 0, this was the wavefront. At t is equal to 1, this one. T is equal to t2, this one. So that means gradually as time increases, your wavefront keeps spreading, and that is why when you throw a stone in water, the disturbance keeps spreading with time. Since the time it takes to spread is very less, therefore it appears to you as if everything happens so quickly, right? So I hope that with this explanation, Huygens principle is clear to you. I mean, now you should know what is a wavefront, what was Huygens principle, what information did it convey.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.